A very good morning to all of you. Today we will study about plant introduction. Now, what is a plant introduction? So, plant introduction, it is defined as introduction of a genotype from its place of origin to a new area. It means introduction of new species. You can say we can bring a particular plant species from one place and then we start growing it on a different place. That is known as plant introduction. So, the plant introduction means introduction of a genotype from its place of origin to a new place or a new area. So when we are dealing with the plant introduction, this may be from other country. So if we bring a plant from other country and then we grow that particular plant in our country, then that is known as exotic collection. In the same manner, if we bring a plant and that is from a different state of the same country, then it is known as the indigenous collection. And the third one, it is a wild collection, means this plant may be from any place and then we want to grow that particular plant on a different place, that is known as wild collection. So this is different type of plant introduction. That is a plant introduction, it may be from a different country, it may be from a different state, or it may be a wild variety. So when we are dealing with this plant introduction, it is of two types, primary introduction and the secondary introduction. When we are dealing with the primary introduction, means these are the three categories which we have discussed right now. Now when we come on the secondary introduction means if that particular plant is already introduced material is hybridized with the indigenous material, means the introduction becomes secondary, means this particular plant which is already present in a particular area, means the introduction becomes secondary if already introduced material is hybridized with the indigenous material. So when we hybridize that particular species with a normal indigenous material, then we get a third type of species, and that is having a improved germplasm, or we can say it is a hybrid category. So when we are dealing with this secondary introduction, it means we are bring a particular variety, then we have made some changes in its germplasm, then that is known as secondary introduction. When we are dealing with this particular introduction or the plant from one place to another, so in this particular sequence, British people introduced tea and lychee from China to India, means these are the exotic variety because they are coming from different country to our country. Now cauliflower, cabbage, they are from Mediterranean to India. It means cabbage and cauliflower, these are also comes in the category of exotic. Now when we are dealing with this particular plant introduction, so what are the different categories, or from where we can have this plant introduction, or what are the features or what are the places where we can have this plant introduction. So when we are dealing with this plant introduction, there are several botanical gardens in India that are conserving the rare plant and which are introduced from outside of a living condition or in the form of a herbarium. So when we are dealing with plant introduction in a botanical garden, at that time we are having three agencies. First one, it is the NBRI, second one it is the CBG, and the third one is RBG. So when we are dealing with the NBRI, it is a National Botanical Research Institute and it is located in Lucknow. So NBRI, it is the first institute, you can say, from where we can get a plant introduction, means we can bring a particular plant from a different state, from a different country or a wild variety, and this particular NBRI, it will help us to grow that particular plant. Now comes the second category or the second institute where we can go for a plant introduction, that is the CBG. This is the Central Botanical Garden and it is present in Havda. In the same manner, we come on the third category or the third place, that is the RBG. This is known as the Royal Botanical Garden and it is present in Kew. So when we are dealing with these three particular categories or three particular locations where we can go for a plant introduction, so in this manner in our country we establish a new institute, you can say, and that is known as IARI. So IARI, it is established in 1946 with the aim of plant introduction. Means in this particular place, this was the first place where we can go for a plant introduction. Means can bring a plant from any other place, or a medicinal plant, or any other plant which is having a particular character which are beneficial for human beings. So they are being bring, and then they are being grow over there, and we can find out different type of categories, different type of characters which are present in that particular plant. In the same manner, this division was converted into National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resource from IARI. To go for particular plant introduction, we have made a different category, we have made a different institute, and that institute, it is known as National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resource, that is NBPGR. So this NBPGR, it was established in 1976. So IARI, it was formed first for the aim of plant introduction. So to carry on the process of plant introduction only, we go for NBPGR. Now when we are dealing with this NBPGR, the main functions which are involved in this NBPGR, it is exploration, collection, conservation, evaluation, documentation maintenance, and exchange and distribution of germ plants to various institutes. So these are the different characters which are being fulfilled, which are being carried out by a NBPGR to bring out a plant introduction. When we are dealing with this NBPGR, it is having different substations. So NBPGR, it has 5 substations in India which are going for this plant introduction only, and the different substation, 5 substation, they are in Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh and Meghalaya. So when we are dealing with these particular 5 locations, so these are covering all the climatic conditions from where we can have a exotic variety, where we can have a indigenous variety, and we can also go for a wild variety. In the same manner, there are the other institutes in India which are engaged in this plant introduction, or you can say conservation of the germplasm. So the different institutes which are going to help for a germplasm conservation, they are CRRI, that is Central Rice Research Institute, then the CPRI, Central Potato Research Institute, then FRI, that is Forest Research Institute, BSI, Botanical Survey of India, and Central Institute for Medicinal and Aromatic Plants, CIMAP. So these, or CTRI, that is Central Tobacco Research Institute. So these are the different institutes or different parts of, you can say, NBPGR, which are going to help us in plant introduction or the conservation of a germplasm. Now we go for procedure of a plant introduction. How we go for the plant introduction? So plant introduction, it involves 5 major steps. First one, it is the procurement. Procurement means this particular plant we want to have that particular plant, we get that particular plant, that is the procurement. Then we go for quarantine, means there will be no disturbance for that particular plant. Then it's cataloging, then it's evaluation, and then it's multiplication and distribution. Now we come on the merits of the plant introduction. What are the benefits of this plant introduction? So when we are dealing for the plant introduction, we are getting new varieties, we can go for crop improvement, we can go for introduction of the new ornamental plants, and we can also study the interrelationship between crop and their wild relatives. In the same manner, what are the different demerits of the plant introduction? So the main demerit or the main disadvantage of the plant introduction is that our plant which we have bring from another place, they can harm our own plant, they can disturb the normal microflora of our area, so they can be infested by different type of disease. So the known seriousness at the time of plant introduction, that is mainly on the part of quarantine, give rise to serious problem of the disease pest and the weeds. So this disease pest and the weeds, they play a very important role, because they can harm all the normal plants, normal microflora, and the plant which we have bring from the different place, that plant will also not be able to grow at that particular place. So lead blight of potato, it is a best example, you can say, of plant introduction or the demerit of the plant introduction. In the same manner, coffee rust, it was also introduced from Sri Lanka, and bunchy top of banana, it is introduced from Sri Lanka. So these are the different type of disease which come along the plant which we have bring from another place, and they give rise to different type of disease in the plants.